Her life is superficial, and it consent her, to say the least. And she hasn't any aim until she finds the shame in her hypocrisy. And blind is the fate she's clenching to, and her faith shall... Beginning at 12 o'clock on 12/12. Caught the read this morning at 12 a.m. at 12/12. So, a lot of things on my mind. I lived through the 80s, so we're in the 80s in style back, so we're bringing back the some up, some down do. Okay, that was just closing out this year's readings has been interesting. I tried to do a bit of a 3-2-1 effect with the 88, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I missed some in there. I had done that mostly so people could get used to what it is and how it is that I do readings here at Anarchy Wellness. Okay, and so the way I do this is I contemplate numerology first, right? And again, all interpretations are my interpretations, vaguely resembling some of the interpretations of what you might read in New Age spirituality books and things like that. Now, I've said this before, but early on in my journey, delving in, spending time at the libraries and the bookstores and the things like that, attempting to understand where man went wrong, where human beings went wrong, because I've been on the planet for so long, and it's like, fuck, dude, how long does it take to, get to that place where everybody wears linen and we're all floating along the atmosphere like they were in the alien show. What is Star Trek? Okay, my life is a sci-fi, don't get me started. Every sci-fi imaginable. Even as, I went away from watching horror films because people were fucking with energies they didn't understand and shit like that, so it pissed me off, which is why I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie's, because it goes into like the horrors of human nature, which is how has influenced me a great deal when it comes to how it is that I want to do a horror film, because I had a love of horror films, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, y'all be conjuring more so than just telling, so the power of writing and its relationship to forever, again brings me to why I interpret the things that I interpret the way that I interpret them. So there are so many cultures on this planet. So we bust out the Cali, and then I do the mineral cards. I like to call them my mineral cards. We do the oracle, and then I do a frequency read on the chakras. So there are too many cultures, and so they can't all be wrong, they can't all be right, they all have to have their place, right? And why the teachings occurred simultaneously all over the planet at one time when we had nothing to do with each other, long before internet. You know, things like that you know, made me question human beings on this existence plane. And so I was like, well, if they knew, then why don't we know? If they got it right, then why were we massacring each other? If they were so profoundly aware, then how the fuck were they duped? You know, things like that along the way. And so, and you know, the attributes of, you know, all the how do you say, the deities, their attributes will tell you why, if you feel like analyzing that. Buddhists being trapped in reality, impressed by nothing, you know, is easily rebelled against with the imagination, right? So little things like that, you know, get into it. I'm going to be a little bit upset if I got to move and find a different spot, because I'm at my office and inside sucks. And you know how it is. Shared spaces suck. So anyhow, I'm trying to do it outside, but I'm like, I want to be in the sun. That's the whole point. So anyhow. So once I started delving into the different realities of, you know, esoteric trains of thought, spiritual trains of thought, it occurred to me that everybody has an interpretation, that every interpreter is fallible because of their humanity and the nature of that beast. And so I wanted an interpretation that I could trust, so I developed my own. So yeah, I read some numerology books, but I didn't memorize them. I memorized a comprehension of frequencies based on numbers, and then I understood physics, you know, in that way. And then I went into, you know, all stemming from principles of mathematics, and my studies of math and my studies of music. Now, mind you, I'm not the most studious motherfucker on the planet, okay? So I ain't saying that I, you know, but comprehension, okay? I am profoundly capable of comprehending that which holds water, because I have many means of discernment, okay? Whether it was my spirituality or my rebelliousness or my analytical nature or my need to have things resonate emotionally as much as they do mentally, as much as they do physically, you know. So whatever the case may be, being able to see the what comes of, yeah, I'm gonna have to take a pause and find a different spot, because there's no sun right here, and that's pissing me off. I came out here for sun. All right, so the point is that I do want to continue recording. God, I'm so mad that the sun is moving so fast. 12 o'clock and now we're gone, right? So I shuffled. Anyways, try not to be annoyed, man. Chit. I want to be baking. So I had this basic understanding of what numerology was, philosophically why it came about, in its relationships, and then that relationship to creating the angel numbers and all this other kind of stuff, and you know, how to understand numerology and stuff. And then I found out, you know, like I do many things, you know, just by namely coworkers, I want to say, because, you know, you work in a field where there's multiple cultures, you're going to find some things out, right? So I found out, and forgive me because I am fully ignorant in the culture, but there is I want to say, Korean philosophy that says every sound has a vibration. Now that's relationship. There's also a Japanese philosophy that says that. There's also there's notions that say the sound frequency and the way that you pronounce something is enormously to have exact pronunciation of something is to have exact frequency of the intention of that word that outdoes any other resonancy or vibrations or frequencies that may be afflicted. So like when I say Tatiana, okay, versus Tatiana, versus Titania, versus Tatiana, versus Danushka. Each one of those has a frequency. Tatiana. Every single one of them. They have a frequency, and because of the pronunciation, the frequency and the subtleties change. Okay? But the word ta, ti, a, n, a. Okay? Those then have words t, a, n. So, and apparently the names like Nguyen, they're full of love and luck and happiness. Okay, so I asked for that math, and I wanted to know that frequency. So I did memorize that a little bit, and then learned through the theory about how to make up some for our language that doesn't share some of the sound bites. Which brings me to sound bites. So again, I study music, I study math, so inevitably I study sound bites because I study frequency. Everything resides on a frequency, and that holds it together in space. So the power of finding something that resonates is in understanding the frequency. And so no matter how many mathematical configurations you can make, it all comes down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eternity, 2, eternity, power, 2, power, blah, 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 and all that. Motherfucker. Alright, well, I guess I don't need my glasses anymore, huh? Shit, man, shit. Okay, don't get mad at me. Alright. Man. I mean, I guess I didn't like the way it looks before either, but anyhow. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing, jingle bell. Alright, so anyway, so that's why I wanted to sort of get into why numerology is read by me in the way that it's read, is because there's too many conflicting theories in too many different cultures, and none of them are wrong. All of them are correct. And so I needed something that I can say, Creator has sent me a message, yes. Creator has sent me a message, no. Or however it is that you think of it, your greater self, your connected self, your inner self, your higher frequency self, yourself on a different timeline, yourself in a different fucking existence, the reflection of yourself. All of these things are true because interpretation is your own to do. Okay? So I had gotten on this damn, man, I was trying to show so many different things, and I don't really, there's a couple of you readers who are very good with the language of the esoteric comprehensions and stuff like that, using all of their words, but it gets drawn, how do you say, dredgingly, to painstaking to listen to. Just like my shit is painstaking to listen to, because it's after a while, I was like, get to the fucking point, or, get deeper into the point. Why are you so vague? Just depends on what the complaint is, but there's always something to complain about, is there not? All right, so we got, you know, a few pages of some shit that either you want to read or you don't want to read. So I'm always trying to figure out, man, do I want to start this battle or what? All right. So yesterday was 12/11, 2025. Okay, that's when I began my journey because I wanted to sort of understand the relationship between 1 and 2, because 1 is eternity and 2 is to eternity. So 1 and 2 is what today is all about. 1 and 2, eternity to eternity equals magic 3. And so understanding that when these relationships come together, their relationship to each other becomes interesting to me, because how does one frequency relate to another frequency, and what did one have to do in order to shift that vibration into the next? Okay, so that's sort of like, and I also wanted to show that inside of 1 exists 2. Inside of 2 exists 1. I wanted to show that inside of 3 exists 9 and 6. And I wanted to show these things and how 2 relates to 8. And, where, you know what I mean? So because we lack a certain concept of evolution that says, whilst we become one thing, we have within us the possibility and capability to become anything, okay? It is what has the universe and time and space and pressure and resistance brought to create you. And what part do you, soul, mind, and body, being them different, each and every one, have to do with it? How did it come about to be you? Okay, that's what the journey of life is. It's it's real basic. I mean, like I said, we've been here for eons. Why the fuck can't we get it? I'm a little irritated by the whole, spiritual wars and whatnot. I'm like, are we stupid? What the fuck, dude? But whatever. Why were the Romans stopped? But yet all the seeds they needed to plant were planted. Why did the Muslims never have a desire to conquer, and yet accumulated so much following? Shit like that. Where did the spirit of conquering come into their faith, in these later times? And I mean, it's been, to me, it's been out of, a need to protect. Everybody's allotted boundaries, you know what I mean? But then, the manipulation comes in where one faith is used to overpower another faith. Don't get me started. Preachers in the Amazon. Who fucking needs them? Well, nothing wrong with motherfuckers before, and then all of a sudden bringing all the chaos and mayhem. We don't have questions. We only have answers. We don't need your colonialistic need to, conquer. If you want to share, that's a whole other trip, man. People are willing to share, but this, come in and take and conquer shit. Where's the sovereignty? If I can't have none, you can't have none. And so when 1 becomes 2, 2 goes back into being added to. So it gets confusing, okay? So eternity to eternity, eternity to eternity to eternity, harmony equals harmony. So I want you to see how 21121 ton 21 ton 2221 2211 212, it eventually gives a harmonic reflection. It eventually gives a dissonance reflection. It inevitably gives a sacred reflection. So that is why zeros and ones are so profound in comprehending the universe and frequency, because they can become anything, put side by side, put one in front or backwards in front, so put upside down, they become something else. Look at them differently, look at them at an angle, a 1 and a 0 put at a different angle looks like a 9, put at a different angle looks like a 6. So I need you to understand how frequencies shift and change, okay? Just fuck with it in your mind, man. Just look at the splices that happen. Look at the separations. Look at the power of two things coming together and it making a third thing. And those, the first they are one, then they are 1 and 1. And that makes them 2, and then they are 3. I mean, come on, that shit is fucking profound, right? Contemplate it. And I'm talking about all cells, okay? All existence. I'm talking about fire and water. Comes together, makes earth, okay? Cooled by air, held together by space, okay? But what are the balance of the elements that have occurred in order to create? What are the balance of the elements that were put together specifically or occurred? What is the power, okay? How is what has shaped you making you who you are, and what are you reaching for, okay? Is you're reaching a programmed reach? Do you know what you're strategically trying to reach for? Or are you just reaching by nature, in response to nature? Raw. That was yesterday. Harmony suggests some dissonance has been restored. We are halfway there, almost where we are at. A core to go forward as we conform. We are halfway or almost. We are at a core to go forward as where we come from is now resonating with you so perfectly. It is like a cell. Dark ages were only 4 steps. Where only 4 steps were acceptable on a staff, until 5 gave a profound resolve, and yet a third was minority. To offset, but it was unthinkable. To augment a 6th or until like 300 years after the Dark Ages. So I'm talking about sound bites again, and the control of sound bites, and how sound bites controlling an environment can control the contemplation capacity of a person. So if you only hear 4 sounds your whole life and you don't understand a 5th sound, it's going to shock you when you come to that understanding. When you hear something before it's resolved, you're going to say that's not okay to do, okay? Enter thousands of years later punk rock, right? Or Debussy, for that matter. So the point is that without the awareness of a sweet resonance, we can live in chaos. Or we can be trapped by the harmony provided for us and never seek a dissonance or a disruption in order to find growth beyond. Okay, so today is the growth beyond yesterday's confinement of harmonious illusions. Okay, now I'm comprehending the 1212 portal in that way. So yesterday was our final day of, enjoying our illusions. Now they will not hold water anymore. Now our illusions are going to take a positive shift forward towards destruction or creation. Doesn't matter, but it will be positive to break it down. It will be positive to challenge it further, expand it, augment it, or tweak it, stretch it. Okay? So 12:11 at 2:10 was 1-2-1-1-2-1. Another way to look at it would have been 12-2-2-1, or 1-2-1-12, 1-2-1-1-2-1. So you can look at these things, and when you start, reading your frequencies and break them down really fast. Three one was another way to look at it, or 44 or 8, infinite connection. So when you look at something, you're reading it, and it's like, 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. 9. Eventually you start looking at these things and you're going to start reading the frequencies immediately. Okay? And then if you have your practice of angel numbers, you can interpret, what 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 means. You can look at it as 1 2 1 1 2 1 1. However it is, or you can look at it as 1 2 2 2 2, or 1 8. And 1 8 is what card? 1 8 is the moon card. All right, so you can look at it, you know what I mean? So you can start utilizing what your numbers are, how they associate to frequencies, where else you see these numbers, or what you know about these numbers. Like if you do know all the cards and all of their numbers and planets and things associated, again, you have a conceptual formula to concur or deny any thought process you have. So the way that I do it is, let's say, boom, I hit my head, right? I was thinking of something when I hit my head. So what was I thinking? And did it hit me on my right side or my left side? That kind of thing. So I was thinking of something when I noticed that number. So it's not just about, that number came up, that means I'm going to have a great day, oh my God. No. Or yes, your interpretation. Shit, I don't fucking know. But to my interpretation, your original thought and understanding, are you deluding yourself? Are you talking to yourself? Did enlightenment occur? Did an awakening occur? Meaning, oh shit, man, I get it now. That's an awakening. Okay, let's stop being so. Things are not so magnificent. That's the fucked up thing about it is we think that things are so magnificent that it is supposed to be, God sending a rock to my head. No, man, it was just the car door. Okay? Now, did somebody slam the fucking car door and nobody stopped the person who slammed it? or punish the person who slammed it? These are things you want to know, because it tells you something. All right? So we question and question and question until we get the formula of the map. And once you are solid in your formula of the map and it has stopped driving you crazy learning it, you can apply it. And once you apply it, you have a system of applying it. You don't just start building a house with, and think that, man. How do you know that earth and water makes rock? You have to first put it together and mold it. Clay, Glass. How do you know these things? You first have to play with it. Understand every single molecular configuration of it. Okay? Then when you hit your head, when you thought about that thing that you're not supposed to think about, you can understand and interpret. Oh, I probably have some painful realities that I'm refusing to face, and it's going to hurt me if I don't think differently on it. Or I was right. That was painful to go through, or I need to listen more, is something telling me, concurring, do as you're told, or something saying, hey, back it up, listen a little bit, what did you just hear? What is it? And so where is it that you got hit? And how does that affect you? Same thing with numbers. Same thing with sounds. Same thing with colors. Same thing. Okay? Once you understand what they associate to you, because, the variations of blue is going to be one thing to me and another thing to you. All right? There are some similarities because as a consciousness on this planet, it's hard not to be redundant, and everybody does the same thing, yeah. I see the third eye carries 2 chakras. Or that there's a, the crown chakra is 2. It just depends on how you think of it, right? Basically, is there 7 or 8? Or is there 8 or 9? Honestly, there's chakras all throughout the body, but those are the core ones that we talk about. All right, and they go along the meridian. So again, using all of these things that we come to comprehend about ourselves, we can understand what a stub toe means and what our body self, physical body, is trying to let us know via exchanging interactions with our spirit. My body is telling me I have a germ, and so I'm going to expel. But if my mind says, oh no, you want to adapt to germs, swallow. Every time you get sick, you get stronger immune system. I got enough immunity in me to discern that it needed to be expelled. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to trust that. Mucus wants out, right? Dr. Sebi in the house. What you know about that? Nobody curse. And like that. Okay? So, yesterday I was watching the clock, and I was looking at all the 212s and the 222s and the things like that. And I, did the 211 at 210 is 8. 211 at 211 is 9. Positive and vertigo. Okay. 211 at 212 is 46. 46. Whoa. Whoa. Reflection. 10. All right. And then if you look at the number, 12, 1, 12, 12, or 31, 33. It gets interesting. Start looking at the numbers and it gets interesting. So how are you going to read it? Eternity to eternity, eternity, eternity to eternity, eternity to eternity, or magic, eternity, magic, magic, or sacred positive, or reflection. How are you going to read the frequency? That is the question. Now, that's my Brad Pitt interpretation. This is my Brad Pitt. Okay, so 12, 11, 221, 121, 1221, or 31, 33. Okay. 12, 11, 10. Again, that 3-2-1 effect. Literally 3-2-1. That's what I was going for. So this one is, it means power. Okay, so it resonates as power. It's 12, 1, 12, or 3, 1, 3, or 7, or power. So how do you read it? Eternity to eternity, eternity, eternity to eternity, or magic, eternity, magic, or power. How do you read it? What is your interpretation of these numbers that you are seeing, okay? And what is the most truth of each comprehension of those numbers are you resonating with based on the thought that you had as you were seeing these reflections? How will it help you? Does it help you? Or does it drive you mad? And if it drives you mad, forget about it. Because if it's useful, use it. If it's without any use, forget about it. Right? So then it was, that was at 10 p.m. So anyways, 12, 11, 10:01. 12, 1, 12, 1, or 31, 31, or 44, or infinite connection. So we've had a cycle now, and then so I wanted to also show that cycles occur. The numerology of the day can resonate with the time frame of the day. The time frame of the day can resonate with the placement of longitude, latitude. All of these things, when you're reading frequencies, come into play, and this is how we find proof in the pudding of some of the things that we contemplate, if that makes any sense. What I mean to say is science, right? Science is trying to prove faith, and faith is trying to last science. Nobody wants to go to the end of their life and realize they were wrong, right? And that's why we contemplate. Nobody wants to go 35 years and then realize they were lied to. We want to kind of know beforehand, Nobody wants to vote one way their whole life and then realize they voted wrong. Some people just want to be right, and so they go with what's right for right now. Some people don't want to be responsible, and so they create a philosophy that frees them from any responsibility. Some people want to be justified. So they go through every single turn of phrase in order to justify. So who you are, who you want to be, who you're becoming, those are all the things that relate within you. And so how you interpret those things, why you become who you are, where you are, how you've been there, how you got there, and all that stuff, that, you know, again, is necessary. So 12/11 at 11 o'clock last night. 1 2 1 2 1 or 313, infinite connection. All right, so when I first looked at the clock versus when I last looked at the clock, and then I went into, you know, 12/11 11:01, 12/11 11:02, 12/11 10, 12/11 11, infinite connection if you're wondering. 12/11 11:12, positive and vertigo, or 12/12/12, or 333. 12/11 11:20, 121 22, or 44, or 8, infinite connection. 12/11 11:21, 12/12/21, or 333. You feel me? That's where we get profound, where the reflection winds up equaling the same thing, but it is a reflection. And so to eternity is not the same as eternity to eternity to eternity. Why is it not the same? 12/12/21. $33 reflected. Whatever the angel number means of 12/12 reflected. Why is positive and vertigo magic? Now that comes back to when women ruled the world and magic ruled this earth, and, you know, again, magic, equaling positive and vertigo. If you dissect a whole entire society and culture and comprehension of life on this planet based on, you know, the woman's comprehension of the elements, the magic, alongside her interpretation, she's, you know, it will, you know, there's like, you know, you can't give one entity too much power, not male, not female. You have to acknowledge all of it. So whether it's 3 + 3 + 3 is 9, or it's 3 × 3 is 9, times 3 is 27 is 9, to eternity and power equals positive and vertigo. Why do these things? Why is there positive and vertigo in order to create a reflection? Why is there a 9 before a 10? Because anytime we have that one tough lesson that we refuse to learn and we've gotten by so long, eventually it's going to flip us. And when that flips, we had got to be ready for it. And you're not going to be ready if you don't learn how to travel upside down. Again, 9 versus 6. Which one is upside down? Which one then can be reflected? $12/12/12 12:25 equals magic. So we are on a magic day today. According to me. So 12:12, and that's when I pulled the cards. So I pulled my chakra tarot cards. Chakra tarot cards. I pulled them at 12:12 because I wanted that magic. 12:12, 25 at 12. 12 on the clock. 12:12, 12:12 on the clock. I don't think I involved. Yeah, 2025 is 9, so 12, 12, 12, 12. So that's 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3 is 6, 3, 3 is 6. 6 and 6 is 12, is 3. Just so you can kind of figure out how to, 3 and 9 is 3. All right, so, but that leads me to, the hour and the minute that I pulled it on was a magical moment. Okay. Mind you, there was a couple of different ones that I pulled, so you're going to see some different, I kind of wanted to show an evolution of, so I pulled some cards at 12:10, I pulled some cards at 2:11, 12, I pulled some cards at some other different times, and, you got to kind of stop it and look at it and see it if you want to know, from 1 minute to the next minute, which, how much shift had occurred in just 1 minute or 10 minutes or 12 hours. Those are the kinds of things I want to show. I want to show how the frequencies are always changing, okay? And because the frequencies are always changing, when we talk about, I need to protect myself, that means I need to control my frequency at all times. That means I want to have my chakras in balance at all times, and so that when something impacts me, I don't fall over, okay? So, again, tools. In the future, I'm thinking next year I'm going to start doing like asana rounds and some breathing exercises and things like that you find in my Chaos Care series. I want to truly do anarchy wellness, which is to say, give it away now, to try and give you guys the tools that I use to keep myself, from being afflicted. Job goes wrong throughout the day. You don't want to walk into your household afflicting everybody with your day because you had a bad day. You know what I mean? You got to be able to understand where something's coming from. Today that person had a complete meltdown and they made my day shitty because they were too much air, too much ether, too much earth. They were stubborn, or whatever the case may be, whatever the attribute is that you want to associate them. Again, obviously I'm an Ayurvedic coach, so a lot of my principles come from wellness that I understand via chakras, Ayurveda, reflexology, as well as the spiritual studies and things like that. I've only done a little bit. I haven't done a lot. I one time tried to read the Bible. One time, I did, I did, tried to read it. I'm not a reader. I am a writer. But I am not a reader. Ironic. All right, so Today will be a day that you can return when you, anytime, you know, as a life path 6 that you, and sometimes people say there's only 3 life paths and they reoccur over and over, so again, that would be a 3 and a 3, so you're working on your 3rd life, if so, and you're working on the multiplied, the compound effects of this particular 3rd life. Anyways, so 6, they claim you to be a positive teacher, this kind of thing. They claim you to be a nurturer. They claim you to be somebody who's very responsible, called to help out others, typically a healer of some sort. Apparently Michael Jackson was a life path 6, so your creative energy is super duper powerful. When imbalanced, you know, you have to be worried that, you have to be concerned that you're not over committing yourself, allowing people to break your boundaries, or becoming too much of a worrier, apparently, they say. So the 6th chakra is the 3rd eye. So somebody who is a life path 6, I imagine, will then have a very astute, keen sense of knowing and inner guidance, being able to command that master gland, and understanding their purpose on this earth, which is very synonymous with somebody like Michael Jackson. He came here to do one thing, be the king of the pop, and then you did that, you know, and you changed the world in that way, because your frequency was so powerful and brought so many together, and you made statements with it, namely that children ought to be protected rather than used and abused. And then they tried to tell you you did that. Sound familiar? The one who exposes is the one who gets told that they're the ones who did it. The one who's sensitive to the violation is the one who is told that they're, you know, sensitive, and that they're the ones who are going to be a snitch. All right, so at the root we pulled magician this time, okay? And at the sacral we pulled the emperor. At the solar plex we pulled the sun. At the heart we pulled hierophant. At the throat we pulled strength. And at the 3rd eye we pulled high priestess. And at the crown we pulled moon. Root, red. Expel, ground, connect, secure, creation, conflicts with conformity. Magician, number 1, eternity. Immense power, resources, tools, in the physical and in every aspect of your existence, of your conjuring up the minerals, being able to use every single frequency, every single, whereas the emperor has the right to use these things whether they have the knowledge or not. The magician has the knowledge. You can manifest your possessions, love or hate are equal desires. So with great power comes great responsibility. My hero says, Spider-Man. Powers of creation, powers of thought. Avoid fucking with it to keep safe. Mercury, Gemini so in that way, when I say Mercury Gemini, that means that you're going to call on those, if you have your chart and you know your chart, you're going to speak to that placement and call upon your root chakra and utilize the magician to understand that. So let's say, for example, myself, I'm a Virgo, right? So my sun sign is a Virgo, which means how I am seen in the world and all of that kind of thing, how those see me, my reflection, in other words. So my reflection seems to be put together and logical, and my rising, my Gemini, seems to have a dual purpose or duality, a yin and yang aspect to it. So when I think of my root chakra, I'm going to think about that yin and yang aspect of it, that duality, that passions versus creation, that love versus hate, that desire to use my prowessness versus my desire to have, let's say, for example, sex be a byproduct of love versus love trying to be a byproduct of sex, misconceptions and things like that might need to be dissolved in that particular area, because it is my place where I create. Every foundation is my place where I have. So again, if I am going to put logic into my root chakra use of my magnificent, or if I'm going to aspire to become, because Gemini is my rising, it is that which I most intentionally want. Okay, so what if I am looking at the root chakra from the perspective of those houses, then I'm going to say, this is an eternal, magnificence that I have and am becoming already. So feeling solid in that. My prowessness, that I will use it for good, that I will not manipulate, that I will avoid manipulating another in order to get something that I want, or manipulate them in any way. Okay, boom, ba, ba, boom. Women, men and women, we all use our sexual prowessness in a way that can either bring about destruction towards somebody else or ourselves, if we use it for manipulation or within manipulative things. You know what I mean? People all use sex don't get me started, man. All I'm saying is that it may be saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself, is all. That's it. All right. Sacral. Emperor, need for discipline of emotions, honor self and self-imposed boundaries. Orange is the color. Instinct, warning, creation, knowledge, building. Master resistance of overindulgence while still using the fire of your passions and honoring what your desires are. Creating. Get emotionally organized. Lead your manifestations. So apply this to your house that has Aries. The Emperor is a sacred. So as he is the Emperor and he's allowed to call upon any and every kingdom, because they have this overseeing awareness, they are by nature sacred, we hope. So understanding your sacred fight to protect your emotions means that you're going to organize your emotions in a sense that this is the emotion I use industry with. This is the emotion that I use emotions with. This is the harmony that I use minerals with. This is the harmony that I use passions with, or how do I say? Not harmony. I said it wrong. Organization that I use. So that I have a programmed response when authority comes in and tries to challenge me, and I want to make them know that I am the authority. Do I speak softly or ferociously? Which one is going to be most effective? Having that discernment means I have practiced these things more often than I have not. Okay, so just trying to put that in perspective. Okay, Sun, Leo, solar plex, 19, reflection, because 19 is 10. Authentic self knows goals, is in good spirits, and aligned. Yellow is the card for the solar color for solar plex, where intellect and instinct take all that has been and turns it into all that is aware for your physical interpretation of self, body. Okay? So the Sun card for success, celebrate who you are now as much as you confirm who you are becoming and how unstoppable you are. Your instinct to become is full of joy as you contemplate all who comes before and after, and that life always continues. So what do you think? So what you do and what you think is about 7 generations before you and 7 generations after you. So take pride and take joy in every single struggle that you have overcome. For the next 7 generations will know how to overcome these things quicker and faster each and every time, and from them is 7 generations affected, and from them is 7 generations affected. And so understanding that if I learn to build a house, I have the nature of building houses. It doesn't mean my kids are going to build houses, but it means that the knowledge of when I need to build a home in my ancestors or predecessors, they will know in all times, in all scapes, in all states of being. Because the solar plex connects us to the universe within, as well as the universe on the outside of us. Okay? So all of the universe is working together. Just like all of your universe is working in order to keep you alive. All of existence is working together in order to exist. That is the fight, the battle dance, the good and the bad. There's no loss. There's a shift. A willingness to shift into the dark and play with all the demons versus a willingness to shift into the light and appreciate all the frequencies. They might be the same thing. That's the fucked up part about it. There's a possibility. You know, I'd love to go and protect the Amazon. And I'd also like to think that they might shift our whole perspective, and so that we don't have to own mass populations anymore. That's what the fight is right now. It's population control. Who wants world dominance? It's fucking crazy. Heart pulls Hierophant. Number 5, Harmony. That was yesterday's numerology day. Today is 6. Light green is the heart. Venus is the Hierophant. Jupiter, Mercury, Taurus. So again, structures. So society. Okay, so Aligned love, compassion, relationship, establish spiritual structures, shared values, or wisdom. Be disciplined and honor your spiritual spiritual emotions as you do your mind's question. At the heart and the sound and a sound truth. At the heart, a sound truth. This is you to your core, and will always steer you. Allow it to be the guide. The heart is easily pulled by strings towards one direction or another, so protect it with your truth. Throat chakra, strength card pulled. Find your inner courage and be patient, gentle with your self-controlled. Speak your authentic truth. Overcome all stage fright. Be clear, thoughtful, graceful as you use your power of expression. Light blue is the throat chakra. Number 8, infinite connection, is a strength card ruled by Leo and Sun. So again, previously on the heart, Hierophant, ruled by Venus, Mercury, and Taurus. So again, where you have those planets, where's your Taurus house? Okay, that's how you want to start attacking this. So if I say Taurus, right, and I'm my moon sign is Taurus, then I know when I'm talking about heart, Hierophant, and all these words that I'm going to attach them to emotions. How are my emotions? How is my spiritual strength? How is my sacred shared values? How is my wisdom? How are my emotional relationships? Because and then how is that in harmony? How is it in dissonance? How is it, and then again, Mercury, where is the metal in my life? And is it creating harmony? Is the metal building my foundations? Is the metal disrupting or conducting my frequency? What is occurring? Okay, so again, my readings are not just about who's coming to get you, who got you, who done it. Okay, that's I'm as gossip of the universe, not to put anybody else's readings down, but that's how I look at that. That's just gossip, and I enjoy gossip. I don't buy in. I just how do I say it? It's where it's at. It is where it's at. Sometimes within the gossip there's this ounce of truth, so I start to try and resonate and find out and learn from certain readers. I listen to frequencies. I listen to the sound bites. I don't necessarily listen to what they're saying. Again, like I said, because I have a different understanding of whatever it is, readings and whatnot. So I'm not just, it's like I'm watching a movie and I'm being entertained, but yet that movie's gonna have a soundbite that resonates with me. Okay? Doesn't mean the movie was made for me. Okay? And then it also does. The fucking movie was made for me so that I could get that fucking soundbite frequency. That's how we're all working together. And so comprehending of your discernment, that's what's needed, okay? Don't allow your heartstrings to be so easily pulled. Throat, strength, Leo, third eye, high priestess, number 2, to eternity. Powerful knowledge on ascension, deep, innate wisdom, a trust for the inner visions and knowledge beyond the surface, seeing into the sights with a perception that hides in reality. Prepare knowledge for use. It will take root or begin at the root to give you a practice of comprehending knowledge yet to be used. Indigo into purple, Pisces, Cancer, Virgo. All right, so I talked about root when I talked about third eye, because again, it's about the intellectual knowledge that we've got from the universe, but then sending it into us and then making that give us a knowledge reflected back about how it affects us. Okay? And that's why I'm talking about seeing into the sights, hearing into the sights, understanding the frequencies, knowing where to put them, how to put the bridges of the maps together. Why do I say this house? Why do I mention this planet? Each one of those things has an attribute. Each one of those things was put in a specific place when you came to this planet. And so when I speak to you and I say 6, does that mean your 6th house? Does that mean your 6th life? Does that mean your life path? Does that, what is it meaning to you? That's how you start interpreting when people are reading. My suggestion. Crown chakra brought the moon, illuminates the subconscious through the truth. Through fear, through thought, through illusion. Trust is needed of an inner wisdom that must too be revealed, embraced, coming into knowing. You can know, you can't know until you know. And so again, it comes back to strength and throat. You must be compassionate. The day is a compassionate day. The day is a, teaching day. The day is a manifesting that which is the truth of what's hidden, not just the truth, but the truth of what's hidden. Coming into light. 1212 is about an undeniable confirmation of a structure reality, Why do I say structure when there's no 4? I don't know. I think it has something to do with the 3-1. All right. You can trust that ability to know is inside of you, even though you don't know yet. When the mind plays tricks, follow your gut and confirm with the heart. So that's why I was talking about the third eye along with the root. Okay, so sometimes you're going to receive something, but you have to send it through and ask the questions and feel it in your loins, so to speak, about where the truth actually resonates of that. Okay? So, in that now, let's do a little bit of as fast as we can, because this is getting intensely long. I've been here for an hour and 12 minutes. Look at that. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 2 2 1 1 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 2 3. All right. Mind is 2. Body is 1. Soul is also 1. Home, health, wealth, and hearth is 7. All right, so 2 comes up in the third eye. So mind, third eye, body. So the third eye of your mind, okay, to eternity. So to eternity, powerful knowledge, ascension, third eye. You can look at the sun card as 1 if you wanted to, but it is a 10, so reflection. So that's interesting. We'll see how it pulls up. The root card, number 1, is magician. Okay, so every time we see body and soul, we're going to think of the root card. We're going to think of the root chakra, the magician. Okay. All right, home health, hearth, wealth, and health. 7. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep an eye on that for when they do come up. Okay. And I'll try to take a picture of everything afterwards. I never know how to do this. I really don't. Really don't. I don't know how to do this. When I say I don't know how to do this, I mean, should I, show them to you as I lay them? Should I read them once they're all laid out? That's what I mean. Uchide. 12, magic. Life path 6. 12 portal. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Tatiana Venmo. Anarchy Wellness at Cash App. $12 portal. It takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 to make it out of sight. Yeah. Oh. I don't think that's how it went. All right. 10. Reflection. 10 is the sun card. Came up in the third eye? No. Came up in the solar plexus. So the sun card at the solar plexus, come on. Creation, come on. Okay. Authentic self knows your goals. Is in good spirit, in the right path. Okay, so far, everything that you have come to realize about what it is that you're trying to manifest has brought you to a specific faith in your awareness. So, trusting both the masculine and the feminine, that which you logically know what to do, that which you know what to care about doing, to put it, again, how all of the universe has come together to make you. Okay? Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini Shakti. Shanti Shanti Shanteyo. Okay. So what does that say? I'm going to read it in a second because, I don't know. I'm just taking a guess because it's a male, female, and Kundalini is the root chakra, risen up all the way through, right? Means when all of your creation and powers are aligned and your joyful celebration from all of your pleasure points reside everywhere, but also it is about the Shakti. It's about protecting that joy, that feeling, counting it as sacred. Okay, it's my interpretation. I don't know yet. Let's read. Card number 10 in the Kali Oracle deck. Kundalini Shakti. Hers is the arising consciousness that evokes instability within, clearing the inner pathways for higher consciousness to manifest inner disturbances and insatiability wrought by Kundalini Shakti is an obscuring grace. Internal disorder is a necessary step towards divine recognition. Reassure your heart that no matter what may appear to be at spiritual level, all is well. Outworn energy is being processed and broken apart. From the ashes of your inner fire, you shall emerge anew. Let what needs to happen, happen. Within the subtle fields of the body is a powerful creative awakening energy known as Kundalini. When the soul is ready, the energy, rather like a snake, coils, stirs, and rises. Awakening Kundalini becomes Kundalini Shakti. Awakened Kundalini becomes Kundalini Shakti. Meaning, okay, we may all begin as female. We may all end as male. But there is so much in between. And until we are completely enlightened, the twos in us will not ever be one. We're spliced in so many different ways. Eventually, existence will come that we are all one. Meaning, female, male, internally. As we are. We will become externally as we are internally. That's the sci-fi in me. Forget about it. Awakened Kundalini becomes Kundalini Shakti, moving according to its own pace, path, and wisdom. It clears the chakras, purifying the body, mind, and preparing the body to more readily receive spiritual energies, weaving through the subtle energies body from the base of the spine towards the crown of the head, seeking release through the top of the head. As a purification is rarely an enjoyable experience, this powerful natural process requires courage. As energies shift and we are cleansed emotionally, we may have physical symptoms of discomfort and dramatically fluctuating moods. Our thought processes may be confused and our perception not as astute as it might otherwise have been. So I want to talk about the 5 of harmony going into the 6 of positive. There's a little dissonance that has to happen in order for that positivity to come through. It has to go away from harmony. An orgasm, you know, before you can have the orgasm, you got to work really hard, and it's kind of frustrating. Kundalini. And then becoming Kundalini Satki. Shatki. I don't pronounce things correct. Okay? Like sediment being shifted from the bottom of the water glass, that which is clear becomes temporarily muddled. As the sediment is removed, the water settles again, but with more clarity. The oracle indicates that to be patient and allow for the confirmation of signs as intuition. You do not need to ignore signs to act, but it is wise to recognize that you are presently with liminal space of healing. The way things look now will change dramatically in the not too distant future. Okay? So eventually, 12 becomes 21. It is not wise to try and build a foundation on shifting grounds. Be patient. Trust that you will know when the time to act is upon you. The Kundalini Shakti rises energies and begins to move in new ways. Oracles indicate that there is something coming within you that has dominated perhaps for a long time, even lifetimes. It is now reawakening. This message could relate to an aspect of your being, even as a past life talent. It will be further developed in this lifetime. It could be a stalled project coming back to life again, or a reinvigorating sense of purpose following an unexpected inspiration.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving forward, an ascension to a new level of experience, the being are predicted. Moving forward and ascension to a new level of experience and being are predicted. Sometimes there is a quiet, long period of deep incubation on the spiritual path when not much seems to be happening. Kundalini Shakti is an inner movement of energy which will eventually demonstrate an outer effect that is often considerable. It can seem illogical to the intellect, but if you want the external of your life to change, go within and work on your inner self and healing. Through trusting and protecting the process of the inner work, shield from prying eyes and ill-formed, fear-based negative opinions, a new authentic self is generated. We don't have to know how to accomplish that. The movement of the Kundalini Shakti is an awakening energy with its own creative intelligence. She knows how to guide us towards the spiritual fruition, just as the body knows how to heal a broken bone. Even if we cannot understand how to accomplish such an astonishing feat at a conscious level. But you can. Contemplation. It's everything. The time naturally comes when a new forged self is strong enough to sufficiently spiritually integrate and ready to be seen, heard, and received. We are ready to come out of the spiritual closet, so to speak. We have no interest in trying to mold ourselves to fit the demands of others. We are divinely self-gathered from within. There is no purpose to or effectiveness in trying to rush the process. It takes time or effort to distill our nature with sufficient resilience, so we are not shaken in the face of conflict by attempted sabotage or fearful projections of others. And as I said, 6 is 6 until it's 9. 9 is 9 until it's 6 again. You know, from one perspective, it's one thing. From another perspective, it's another thing. So it's important to understand. And again, this is what I mean about knowing, you know, having the emperor in the third eye, or what was it? Having the emperor in the sacral, again, having the ability to discern which emotions are appropriate for which timing, when to utilize your anger and stand up for something versus when to see that something makes you angry, but at this time you're going too mad in order to express what it is that you need to express, allowing that time to sit and wait for a moment of clarity so that your expression, your throat chakra has the strength to speak your truth without it being over dominating, but still have the power behind it, the truth that you want to express. Sometimes there's quite a long period of deep incubation in spiritual path, which seems to happen in Kundalini's inner energy, which demonstrates outer more effective I read that. Okay. The time naturally comes for a new forge. It is. There's no. We must be generous with our process, providing patience and trust. The oracle confirms that you are working deeply, and much can come this year. Much can come of this. Your labors are not in vain. The oracle of Kundalini Shakti indicates creativity and healing on every level. It is also indicating of a time when matters of relationships are significant to the soul growth, to your soul growth. All right, so again, that stage fright, having that stage fright to come out with your authentic self and your authentic voice, to express your authentic emotions, to feed into your authentic desires, to be willing to express and protect your sacred passions. Turning into masculine and feminine energies, your soul will help you balance leading and receiving, directing and allowing, pursuing and presence, both in your outer world and in your spiritual life. Trust your heart and don't be hesitant to learn unfamiliar territories. With boldness, tempered by patience, you will be capable of many things on many levels, and that you were not capable of accomplishing previously. A new way is signified. Reflection. Positive and vertigo. Desire. Passions. Desire. Positive in vertigo. Desire. Minerals. Sacred minerals. Positive in vertigo minerals. Magic. Community magic. Feminine leading. Positive day. Today is a day. Minerals. Reflection. Community reflection. Wisdom, community wisdom, magic, community wisdom, reflection, community wisdom, infinite connection. King is sacred because it's four is sacred wisdom, community. So mineral, infinite connection. Mineral, infinite connection. Power. Industry. All right, so right off the bat, Sun, solar plex, the day, the magician, the root, sacral, emperor is the king, so sacral chakra. We're gonna look at our kings as the sacral chakra because the emperor is ruled by 4 and has the ability to take on any king, so the wisdom of a king or the minerals of a king in a sacred way. We're thinking of our solar, our sacral at this time when we think of those things. So again, in your sacral, having the right minerals, utilizing the right minerals, having the wisdom to put the right minerals into you. Throat strength. So industry, being able to speak up in your industry, being able to speak for your industry, being able to have the power of knowing why you speak on your industry, and home health, wealth, and heart. I'm sorry, mineral. Speak about the minerals, having the strength to speak about the minerals. Having the wisdom to of the strength to speak. Home health, wealth, health, heart, industry. Positive industry, the day is tapped into, so perhaps being wise enough to manifest on this powerful 12/12 day a positive use of your industry, a positive use of your minerals, a means of supporting your home health, wealth, health, and hearth. Positive and vertigo community, wisdom. Sometimes we reflect on everything and we realize there's still something missing. And so we go back. Do we have the right minerals? 9 leads to 10 with the right minerals. The wisdom that you gain from having the right minerals leads to more wisdom. The dark before the dawn, the study before the knowledge acquired. Passion, a youthful passion for all that is wise, for seeing into the misuse of minerals or the knowledge that minerals provide us without the greed that can be associated with acquiring the minerals. Sacred passions, touching the king, so I'm going to call that emperor again. Mind, body, and soul hasn't really come up unless you're looking at the 10, so King of Hearts. So the Emperor has definitely taken every single shape. So this is a sacral dominance, mind, body, soul. Orange instincts master resistance of your emotions while still using the fire of your passions will yield home health, hearth, wealth, and health. Joker. All right. So Joker is wild, obviously. It can be anything that you want it to be, on the one hand. Late in here, it looks a little bit like you got to find the humor in, you know, not having all the knowledge yet or coming into the knowledge. You got to have the humor in trying to manifest all of these things that you want to manifest but not know if they're the truth of you. You may become something else. You may desire something else. Just because you wanted to be what you wanted to be when you were little doesn't mean that you still want to be that when you're old. Just because you got everything that you ever wanted doesn't mean you still want it. Allow yourself to go through the changes. Allow yourself to become awoken and then learn those lessons and realize they've only taught you so much, and that you allow yourself to reawaken again. Because life is a forever learning. So again, just because we have the power to think anything doesn't make every thought powerful. But it does make everyone's thoughts capable of power. So when we say we're protecting ourselves against the negativities and stuff like that, it's not that we want to attack anyone else or accuse anybody else of having an ill intention. It's about owning your interpretation of what was said to you and allowing yourself to feel what was said to you. It's about seeing the damage that what you're putting into your body versus how it's affecting another person's body. May not be the same, but having a discernment to say, it is not for me. Being able to see into your industry and be a voice of reason, teaching, caring enough to have the ability to call on any one of your capacities, be they a youthful, joyful passion or a wise, understanding, or a mature execution of your passion, or making sure that your passions, your minerals are invested in something other than good times that seem to be creating some wisdom or work that seems to be having a positive effect, but they're really just trying to give you something that will lead you to, or that comes from something that you can maintain your passions about, that yield wisdom. All right. So, as always, home health, hearth, wealth, and health is best served when you follow your own formulas of discernment. Thanks for hanging out with me for almost 2 hours. I appreciate it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope to see you again. Cheers.